So we're going to walk over what happened today, Monday, August 31st. This was with me and a student in Miss Caraldi's class. So first, in the morning, I saw Miss Caraldi flip over a student's desk. Again, it was a boy this time, and she said he couldn't find a paper and his desk was messy and full of papers. So she had to flip it over and say, "Clean out your desk. It has too many papers in it." That did not make sense to me. And then at 2 p.m. when I leave, I end up meeting a kid from my class at the park, and he told me that he was very upset. He said specifically, "You know what I really, really don't like that she does?" And I asked him what. And he says, "I don't like that she flips students' desks over." And I was like, yeah, that's true. I don't like that at all either. And he said that he told his mom, and his mom was very angry. And she wasn't angry at me, but she was angry at the teacher for flipping over the desks. And I'm very happy that this kid said that, because I wonder if students are going home and telling their parents what happened, because these kids, they just take it. It's like, I know with the first two students I saw, the boy and then the girl, it just seems like she picked the right ones who don't speak out. However, I'll say the girl did not show up in class today, which is Monday, August 31st. So again, I would hope that it's because of what she told her parent. I know when I was in school, I didn't like the way someone spoke to me, and I told my mom I'm too scared to go to school because I don't like how they're speaking to me. And it ended up being an art teacher. And so, yeah, it was very much true. So this had to happen at around 12:35 p.m. So I was already in the class, and when I first came into class, which could have been like 12:05, I first came into class and I see Harris, and he is autistic. He's the autistic student, and we still do not have an IEP on him, even though we should. We just have a progress report, which still is not an IEP with accommodations. We have received like a behavioral specialist, like my teacher has. I haven't gotten anything because, again, I should be able to review an accommodations list and be told, like, how do I interact as a teaching assistant with this autistic child. I've been doing my own research about it, and all I've seen so far is visual cards. But again, he just gets so upset and so scared of school, he doesn't like them. And I just feel like a solution is definitely getting the parents more involved, because they're the ones who have to teach him how to sit down in class at the end of the day. Like, the teacher is not a good teacher. She is not. But I also do think some of the problem is on Harris, because his teacher from last year, she's called a granny now, she used to help him out in kindergarten, and she said she noticed towards the end of the year, like, he was a great kid in kindergarten, then towards, let's say, May, end of the year, he started acting bad. So I do think he does have like a hatred of school or some fear of school. And maybe if his parents were more involved, he can get over that fear. So back to it. He was looking at a book. Harris was looking at a book in class, and 3 pages were ripped out at the corner of the book. And I asked him, "Hey, this book is missing pages. Put it together." And then I saw him. He also pointed to the book for me to read it to him. And I was like, "Why are these pages ripped? Could you put it together?" And he said, "Glue," meaning like we should have glue to put the book back together. Because I'm sure he ripped it, but he still wants to put it back together again and read it. So I don't know what made him so angry he ripped the book. But he picks up the broken pages, and then the teacher's like, yeah, you can give it back to me. I don't want him touching my book anymore. And then another student found another page that was missing, and that was that. I ask him to join the class in math, and he doesn't want to. He tells me that he wants to go to sleep, and so I leave him on the floor. And then I come back to him, I ask him about math, and then he wants to like go to sleep and fall out on the floor because that's what he does. And I leave him, and while he's on the floor, he has a child's jacket, and it's covering him up like a blanket. But that child goes and picks up the jacket and takes it away from him, and he tries to pull it back, and then eventually he lets go, and then the child takes back his jacket. So now Harris does not have a jacket. And this is when he gets up, he goes to that child's desk, and which is also his fellow student. He goes to the student's desk, and he starts like laying on the floor next to the kid's desk, and then he starts putting his feet up on the desk, and he uses it to take off his shoes, and he uses the desk to take off his socks. And the teacher says, okay, student, get away from your desk. And that's when Harris, he just sticks his feet on the desk and just lays there. And I'm just like, okay, you want to lay there and just kick off your shoes? You can. I'm going to ignore you. Because if we call the front office, all they do is take him for a walk and say he needs to calm down, and there's no place for him when we call for help. So Harris really has to stay in class, and when I wanted to like take him out of class, he didn't really want to go with me. He was just like, I'm gonna lay on the floor and I'm gonna kick off my shoes, and we're not going on a walk together. So I felt like it was hard for him to calm down. So I just thought, okay, he'll just lay there. And then he starts getting up, and I'm just like, no one's bothering you. So Harris gets up,